Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have John on Bug Control versus Jason on Burn. Looks like the matches are facing away from each other. I think we can figure it out though. Kind of like someone playing their lands up front, I guess. And Sylvan Library. That'll be some card selection, especially with shuffles, but not exactly a matchup where you're going to pay 4 life to draw a card. Burn is going to go after that resource that is usually the most expendable. I mean, life, anytime you can trade life for cards, it is usually a good deal. If Magic has taught us any lessons, it would be that. Cards are more important than life. And Verdant Catacombs adds more mana for John into Baleful Strix. Now, Euro is a really brutal card in this matchup, so John's going to dig for that card. If he can resolve it, it will make a absolutely huge difference, potentially just pushing just totally out of range of Jason. Burn, very, very efficient at doing like 20 damage, not so good at dealing like 26 or, 30 damage. Force of Will, stopping the Chain Lightning, which was targeting the Baleful Strix, and now a Lightning Bolt does clear the Baleful Strix. So 6 points of burn required to get rid of that Baleful Strix. However, Eidolon does chip in for 2. If Jason can get in 2 attacks, then I suppose that'll prove to be worth it. John grabbing a basic swamp, looking to play around Price of Progress as much as able. And I'd say Price of Progress really is the card in Burn that kind of determines your perspective. Another Baleful Strix now, leaving Wasteland open. Notably, that can destroy the Bayou if Price of Progress does come up during the end game. If Price of Progress is good, then there are some Burn decks that are very, very solid. If you don't think Price of Progress is good, I don't know that Burn is where you want to be. I think there's probably a Prowess build, which may be better, but adding in things like Sulfuric Vortex or Roiling Vortex, more Exquisite Firecrafts, all that type of stuff, I think those can be supplements to Price of Progress, but I don't really think that they're enough. Price of Progress, typically going to deal 4 to 6 damage. And if that's the case, it's totally worth the 2 mana. If you're only dealing 2 to 4 damage, then that's kind of a different calculation. Abrupt Decay. John losing 2 more life, but he does clear the Eidolon, and he is very low on life now. Jason, just a couple of cards left. We've got a Monastery Swift Spear. John consulting his hand, 3 cards. Exquisite Firecraft. Not much to do there. That is going to be uncounterable, and it's time to pack it in as Monastery Swift Spear gets that Prowess trigger as well. Exquisite Firecraft, I actually like as a 4 of in Burn right now. When I played Burn prior to the, I guess maybe right after the printing, sometime around that was what, 20 Origins? So that's like 2016. So this was after the printing of Exquisite Firecraft. I really liked bringing in uncounterable damage. So I would literally bring in things like Sudden Shock or Volcanic Fallout, things that your opponent couldn't counter in control matchups, just because a really solid control player or combo player for that matter, will often elect to not utilize their counter spells until it's really necessary. And one of the major reasons for that is the power of Brainstorm. You can convert counter spells in hand, which are a type of insurance or a shield, making sure that you don't get taken out by something like a Price of Progress, and then go ahead and convert that into the win later on. That is a possibility. You don't necessarily want to just be counterspelling, their first Lightning Bolt or Lava Spike. Now, if it's a Monastery Swift Spear or Goblin Guide, that's generally worth Force of Willing in this type of matchup, but early burn, really not the type of thing you're going to want to throw a Force at. And if you can get them low enough and have a couple of uncounterable burn spells, even if they have the counters at that point ready to make a stand and stop that loss of life, it's no longer an option. Because those are uncounterable effects that they can't interact with. And it seems to me that Exquisite Firecraft is the best of the bunch. The Volcanic Fallout is a really interesting card, which I don't see as much play lately. The fact that it kills both Eidolon and Goblin Guide is pretty rough. Now we've got a Swift Spear and a Chain Lightning. The Chain Lightning does clear Baleful Strix, and 4 damage comes in. John finds himself down to 14 already. And now 13 with the fetch. D6 is showing up nicely for Jason. Appreciate that. Always nice to have a nice clear life total on camera. Looks like John's is accidentally cropped out. And now Euro rips a land. John does not make a secret of that. But it does gain him the 3 life. And maybe coming back. And if you can get an active Euro, that is very, very difficult to beat as a burn player. And a Ponder, fueling that graveyard. The escape cost on Euro could have been much higher and still be good enough to see play. But that is just kind of how Magic works. The new Roiling Vortex. It's a card. Definitely has some punch in the right situations. It's at least a non-creature spell, so it does trigger prowess as well. And can be played pretty much whenever. Any non-creature spell at all pairs quite nicely with a pair of Monastery Swift Spears. Fatal Push takes down one of them. And and passing the turn. All right. We have an Assassin's Trophy after the draw. Interesting. So, going to destroy the Roiling Vortex, giving Jason another land. Perhaps the thought process there, just trying to maximize the likelihood that Jason would draw a land for turn. It's a minor aspect, but certainly relevant. And now we got Chain Lightning to the face. 10 life. It's going to turn into 7. So just 5 more left after Swift Spear connecting. There's Eidolon. And that will force the issue. 2 more damage coming in, down to just 5 with an Eidolon on board. And John needing a land to escape Euro. And this would be something. Now keep in mind, despite the 4 mana needed, the mana value of Euro is still 3. So this will trigger casting for Eidolon. Got to figure if Jason had the Fire Blast, he probably would have used it before the draw step, just in case his opponent drew into something. So Euro's going to enter. John's going to gain some life, and he'll have a blocker on board. And then when it turns sideways, he'll actually be gaining life again. So it's a really damaging card. Or healing card, I guess. Life gain. You know, it's usually terrible. I'm not going to lie. Like, life gain... Oh. I'll just talk through the technical difficulties here. We'll see if this gets resolved quickly. Life gain in general, as a single card, if that's all it does, hot garbage. Like, I don't even know how much life you'd need to gain from a single card for it to be worth playing. For, like, 1 mana. I don't know. Is it like 10? 12? Tough to say. It'd be a lot. And it'd probably be part of some type of combo deck. I mean, Children of Corliss, I guess, is just gaining life. And, you know, that's usually going to gain you like 14 or more life. So that's something. It's also a creature, so it can be reanimated in the decks that run it. But Euro has arrived, allowing for an extra land drop. Price of Progress, a little bit more interesting now. With all of these non-basics, it'd be good for 4 damage. The fetch would need to be sacked, so 5 essentially. Everything turns sideways. Eidolon is going to take down... Oh, Euro, I should say, is going to get taken down. Sorry, distracted. I got customers right there. All right. They're not coming in. So Euro is going to squish this Eidolon, it looks like. Lightning Bolt being thrown at John's face prior to that. And that is going to be, I'm assuming, a Fatal Push? What is that, a Cling to Dust? That card even make any sense here? Yeah, that's Cling to Dust. That can gain John 3 life, but he'll lose 2 life. And we got a Fire Blast in response. That'll probably do it. Unless John's been sitting on some pitch magic here. He's going to fetch. And a Bone Crusher Giant on top of it. Whoa, Flusterstorm. Wow. So I guess he wouldn't have had enough life to use the Flusterstorm despite having 3 targets. That is pretty wild. That is pretty wild. What a spectacular finish to a very interesting match. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.